Hi there. We are out in the front yard at Mockingbird Meadows, and you may recognize this plant. All along our front walkway, we have had this weed come up, and I let it happen every year on purpose. I'm going to show you where it is right now. It is at the stage where it's beginning to put on its blooms. We don't want it to go any further. If you're trying to grow, this is burdock, and it has a lot of great benefits for us health-wise. But if you're growing it for the root, for food or medicine, you don't want it to go much farther than this right here. If it's able to bloom and then put on seeds, it will spread seeds everywhere. You can see it sticking to my fingers. Burdock that's the name. It's got little spurs on it that stick to your skin or to fur, and once it puts on seeds with all of that, it's going to drop babies everywhere, and we want to prevent that. So we are going to, my handy dandy husband assistant, we're going to dig this root and bring it inside to harvest. As you can see, the plant has quite a large stem here. It's a fleshy stem, so it's not woody, but it is going to have a taproot that will be very difficult to get all of. Burdock goes deep, deep into the subsoil, which is one of its many talents. It's able to go in and retrieve minerals that have been lost to the upper reaches of the topsoil. So you need to get your shovel all the way around and work at it to try and get it as loose as possible to get what you can of the root. It is a biennial, so you're not really worried here that if you snap it off, it'll grow back and cause you problems, especially if you're digging it in the fall. You're not going to have too much of an issue of it to grow back. So the part of the plant that you're going to use for medicine or food is here, starts here down where the soil level was and below. This is called gobo root, burdock root, and once it's cleaned up, it's going to be nice enough to slice. If I'm going to dry it for use in medicine all winter long, I'm gonna slice this up before I put it down to dry. Otherwise, you won't be able to bust it up for anything. But if I'm going to take this in the house and cook it, I'm going to chop it up just like a carrot. When you're digging burdock, you want to dig the fall of the first year or the spring of the second year. It's a biennial. And so here you're going to be able to see the different roots. These two roots were off of a stalk that had already flowered and was getting ready to go to seed. And so you're going to be able to see that is much more woody. This has gotten to a point where you're not going to want to slice it and use it as food, and it's going to be a little more difficult to use as medicine because it has put a lot of energy up into the flower stalk. This, however, is the root from a plant. You can tell what a first year is going to look like, or the first part of the second year will look like. It doesn't have a flower stalk, but it's produced its leaves. So this is going to be much less woody. This is going to cut like a carrot. You're going to see that it's much different in here. Much more straight, much less rings involved. And this is at the point that you want to harvest this. So I would cut off what's above ground, and this would get cleaned up and I could fix it for supper. This is called gobo root. When it's not called burdock root, gobo root in Asia, it's a delicacy, and you can slice it just like a carrot and put it in with your soups and your stocks. Or you can proceed to cut this up and slice it, get it into small pieces, and dry it in small pieces. You don't want to dry it in a big chunk like that because it's not going to be usable after it's dry, and it's going to dry a lot faster cut into pieces. So this is why you're going to want to get it at this stage rather than digging it when it is flowering and leafing out. However, there are medicines that you can get from burdock root above ground. You can get a lot of benefit from the leaf, and you can also use the seed in some eye wash formulations. So there's benefit to allowing it to grow through both of these stages and make different medicines. If you don't want a lot of little burdocks each year, you're going to need to manage it once it goes into flower, when it gets into this stage, so that you don't have seeds everywhere. But if you're eating your burdock, you won't have a problem with it. This is Dawn Combs, the prescription gardener for Hobby Farms.